Visit us at kd-naturals.com today, where our products are inspired by the Most High and handmade with love.
Rise and shine to the morning light. Sister MJ brings the truth so bright. Health and nature in every sound. Feel the rhythm, let's get unbound. From our higher we get our power. Every herb, every healing flower. Sister MJ shows the way. Naturally living every day. Naturally you. Naturally free. Naturally living as God meant to be. Breathe the air that's fresh and pure. Nature's bounty is the cure. Sister MJ shows what's real in every word and every meal. From the mountains to the sea, every breath is harmony. Feel the beat and feel alive. With Sister MJ we thrive. Grains and fruits in every bite. Feel the energy, feel the light. Harmony in every part. Naturally you with all your heart. Breathe the air that's fresh and pure. Nature's bounty is the cure. Sister MJ
Shalom, shalom,
in every word and every
shalom, shalom. Your hair sticking out everywhere. Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Naturally You. I'm your host, Sister MJ. Hope you've had an amazing week with less stress instead of more. And I hope you're ready to continue our dive into It's Tough. It is tough being a woman and a man too. But definitely it's tough being a woman. And we want to continue that conversation. So welcome. All right. Last week, if you recall, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I went back and listened to the show and I said, oh boy, there was a lot of stopping, starting, freezing. So I want to recap, if that's okay. I want to recap with you what we're going to go over. All right. And welcome everyone. Arapika 2000, Shalom. Sister Kana, Shalom. Esteline, Shalom. How are you, my sister? I hope you're recovering well. Sister, my dear Eliora, welcome, my sister. And Sister Allison, Shalom. I saw Sister Kim. I know Sister Dawn is already there somewhere. And the rest of you, welcome. All right. Are you ready for tonight? Are you ready for tonight? And did anyone learn anything new last week about the thyroid and about our endocrine system? I hope so. because it's a lot that we need to share with many, many others. All right, so let's recap last week, okay? If you have your notes, get them out. I want you to understand this thyroid because a lot of times we go to the white coats and they tell us stuff and we don't understand. But the way I'm breaking it down, I'm hoping it's very easy for you to understand. When they say T4 and T3, you know what they're talking about. Because my hope is that by exploring the symptoms, the causes, the complications, and the treatments for the hypothyroidism, which is when it's underactive, and the hyperthyroidism, when it's overactive, right? In detail, that more women will be empowered to seek advice and care and solve their own thyroid issues for good because there's so many things impacted on that. That is our control center. That is our control center. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I want to do a definition. Homeostasis. What is homeostasis? Have you heard people say homeostasis? What does that mean? Well, homeostasis is, okay, I don't know, I keep saying. So, homeostasis is when you bring your body back to its normal, its middle ground, okay? And a lot of times when we're stressed, when things are going amok, we're on the fright or flight side of things instead of the vagus nerve where there's peace and calm. We need to get to homeostasis. Our thyroid, that helps get us there to homeostasis if it's working correctly. If it's working correctly. Shalom, Sister Nafisa. Shalom. So if our thyroid is working correctly, then we can get to homeostasis. That's where everything is at peace in our center. You know, they say the core, we get to our core. If it's not at homeostasis, things are kind of out of whack, and therefore we have hypothyroidism, which is when our thyroid is underactive, right? And then hyper is when it's overactive, and that's too much. So let's go in now. Let us go in now. All right, let's get that picture up of what the endocrine system encompasses. All right. All right, I want you all to take a snapshot of this. Okay, because you need to understand what glands are involved. When we say glands, everybody thinks, oh, the thyroid gland, but it's much more than just the thyroid gland. We have, Shalom, Sister Dawn. Okay, so we have the hypothalamus, we have the pituitary. Now, the hypothalamus is our brain region controlling the pituitary gland. And the pituitary gland is what secretes the hormones which affect the other glands. And you're going to see that as we go deeper into this thyroid gland. All right. You also have your adrenal, the parathyroid, the thyroid. You have the pancreas. And you see the pancreas regulates the level of sugar in the blood. The adrenal glands trigger the fight or flight response, which we talked about. And when we want homeostasis, we want to come back to no flight or flight. We want to actually exercise that vagus nerve, which connects to all of these glands in the body, these systems in the body. All right. So now, I am having issues here, y'all. I apologize. It keeps coming up and I want to know why. Okay. Are you all seeing me okay? Are you hearing me okay? Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, great. All right. So now let's go in because we're going to recap last week real quick and then we'll go into the more in depth. Shalom, DJ Keys. All right. And if I can get the picture on the pituitary and the T3, T4. Okay. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I need that picture. I really need that picture because I want you to get a visual, not just hear me talking about it. Sometimes when we get a visual, it's much easier for us to understand. Well, maybe I won't get that picture then. Well, let's just keep going. All right. So we have the thyroid, and it kind of looks like if you cut an apple in half and you open it. That's how the thyroid looks. It surrounds the gland right here. And when you have hypothyroidism, you may experience weight gain, cold intolerance when you cold all the time. You have sweating. You don't sweat a whole lot. You're depressed and irritable, maybe a little bit of anxiety. There's definitely constipation involved. There's slower heart rate. You have a lot of muscle or joint pain. Then you may have brittle nails or puffy face. Now, when I say puffy face, I'm talking puffy all over. There's one thing if you have you gain a little weight and your cheeks may be a little high and puffy, but I'm talking about the full puffiness. And then in both hypo and hyper, there's fatigue. All right, there's hair loss, and you have problems sleeping. So we want to look internally and see if we have any of these symptoms because our goal here on Naturally You is to get ahead of preventative. We want to take and look at it before we get to something that we have to prevent because otherwise we are going to be going to the white coats, which we go when we need to, but a lot of things we can do for ourselves, and that's where we want to be. We want to be able to do this for ourselves. We want to be able to understand. Okay, so this is the picture I want you to look at. That's how your thyroid looks, right? And if you see the hyperthyroidism, that's when it's overactive, and that's on the left. And then the hypo is on the right, and that's when it's underactive. So you choose what side you are on. Okay. Then once we determine what or which of these that we have more of going on in our body, because nobody knows your body like you, and you have to go to somebody and tell them what's wrong. They go to a computer, they type it in what you said, and then they give you a prescription. That's not involving nature in a live body. We want to feed this body what it needs, nourish it with things of the earth that the Most High gave us, right? And then now let's go and understand, what does all this mean? What does it all mean? So this underactive thyroid, there's certain foods we need to stay away from. That is like edamame. It's something like kale. I know we love kale. I love my kale salad. But kale, if my thyroid is underactive, I don't need to be eating raw kale. I can do cooked kale. And the reason being is because of the goitrogens. And those goitrogens kind of make us feel not so good without us even knowing it. The edamame is the soybean. We've got to nix soy, kick soy out of our diet. If you're a vegan and you do soy, I urge you to do the deep dive on the soy conspiracy and understand that soy is not good for you. They do say that if it's fermented, it is good for you. And the Japanese and Asian, a lot of them eat it a lot, and that's fine. But they cook it differently than we do, or how we've been taught to eat it. Then we also have arugula, which is one of those greens that we eat and we use at Passover in our salads that are supposed to, it's bitter, and it replaces like the bitter herb that we have with Passover, with our Passover meal. However, arugula is one of those that cause, if you have an underactive thyroid, you don't want to be eaten on the regular. You want to maybe saute it a bit because, again, of the goitrogens. Now, I don't think anybody in a salad just goes crazy and eats a ton of it. However, it could happen that it's something you really like, and you may find your hair thinning. You may find you've got weight, you're having problems sleeping, or your irritability. All of this could be a part of that issue. Then on the other side, we have the hair, the overactive, which you may see is grave. You may experience trouble getting pregnant, high blood pressure, excessive sweating. The goiter is enlarged, so you have a growth coming on your neck. Again, that's overactive. And all of these we need to look at and see how it impacts us. There's a hormone that this thyroid produces. It's the thyroid stimulating hormone. And it comes from the pituitary gland, which we saw at the very beginning in that picture. The pituitary gland is what stimulates the thyroid to produce this hormone. All right? Keep in mind, the endocrine gland affects your energy, your weight, your hair thickness, your digestion, your metabolism, your happiness, your monthly cycle. It all impacts that as women. Now, men, it affects you the same, except you don't have the monthly cycle, but you have other things like the prostate and whatnot. Okay? It is one of the most heavily depleted organs in most women, the thyroid. Okay, now remember, the liver, which is under the right ribs, is the most used organ, because everything you put in that mouth has to go through that liver to get broken down and processed. The thyroid is the woman's hormonal control center. So if your husband or somebody says, "Oh, the hormones are high in this house," check your thyroid, because it's probably that. All right. So we want to stay away from edamame. We want to stay away from kale. We want to stay away from arugula. Also, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. They should be cooked, because if you have those goitrogens developing, it blocks your thyroid from absorbing iodine. Now, we've talked about iodine. We know that is one of the most critical minerals that we need in our diet today, and most of us are deficient. An easy way to check to make sure you absorbing your iodine is to just take some like this. I'm going to take a dropper and put it on my wrist, a drop here. And by the time we finish the show, I'm going to show you how it has faded, or maybe not. It just depends. My absorption should be getting better as I'm doing this every day. And I try to make sure I'm taking it in my water every day. But I suggest that if you're going to do this, start off small and work your way up, because you don't want to go way too high and then have a reaction. And I don't know what that reaction could be, because I'm doing it in the regular format. So I start off with 5 in your water or in your juice, and you keep going up. And you will feel that you're being supported. You've got to make sure you're tuning in and listening to your body so you'll know whether you're being supported or not. There's some good signs that we need to take a look at. The bulging of the eyes is a good sign. If you see your eyes bulging any. Now, I'm going to tell you something about myself. So next time you see me, don't start looking at me cross-eyed, okay? But anyway, uh, everybody, and I mean everybody, we do have one side that heals better than the other. And I don't know if you've noticed that, but go look in the mirror. And yes, I'm putting myself on blast, Sister Dawn and Sister Kim, no shame in my game here. But for me, okay, if you notice, a sign of underactive thyroid is the end of your eyebrows, you losing your hair there. I experienced that. Mine is growing back, but it's a slow process. But it's come a long way. It used to be nothing there. All right, then if you notice my eyes, I have kidney issues here, and this one is more puffy than this one. Again, this side of my face heals better and is more together than this side. Okay. Then another thing I've noticed, when I open my eyes, like right now I'm opening my eyes, right? If you notice, one eye goes in deeper than the other. This one has some issues. I know that. It's my thyroid. It's as if this eye is bigger than this one. But I've had it where it all works together perfectly. Again, that's when my body is coming into homeostasis. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And then another thing that I noticed, on this side of my face, my laugh lines disappear more on this side, but on this side, it goes a little bit deeper. Now, of course, I've got a fix for this, right? But what I do is I have a drink I take. It's called my energy soup. When I do my energy soup, everything puffs up and plumps up and everything's good. And it's just like when your body is dehydrated, because every organ in our body needs so much water, a certain percentage. So if we're not getting our body fully hydrated when we do eat and we do drink and do other things, it's like if you drink coffee takes the water out of you. Okay? So if you are drinking coffee or if you're drinking alcohol, you need more water to hydrate your body. All right? Same thing. And the wrinkles around the eyes when you laugh lines and everything. If your body is hydrated, you don't see those wrinkles. If you're not hydrated well, you'll start seeing the wrinkles. And I hope that makes sense. Yes, we've got the glow and everything else, but we've got to take a look at this. And to some people, it doesn't matter. And then sometimes it does to some. At other times it doesn't. But I'm just showing you what's out there because I have so many different age groups that I'm talking to. I want them to know that, hey, this is what can happen if you're not doing this. And I hope that makes sense. All right. Okay. Moving on then. So the Hashimoto's is another thing that is an issue if you have the hypo, which is the underactive, right? And the Hashimoto's is a symptom. And then on the other side, on the hyper, there's Graves' disease that they call it. Hashimoto is an autoimmune disease. Now, when I say autoimmune, this is Sister MJ's theory, okay? The Most High has his way, and then the enemy has his way. His way is AI. His way is AI, artificial interference. It's in everything you see out there that's artificial. It's the computer, it's the Wi-Fi, it's the Apple Watch, it's the earbuds, it's the cell towers, all of that artificial, artificial, artificial. But that tree was good and evil, so there was good in it. We need the laptops, but it's at a cost. It's giving us a cost and effect. Okay, it's costing us, but we need it, so we use it. But know that it's doing something to us in the negative. So our response to that is to nourish our body with these natural foods the Most High gave us. Get grounded in the soil, get grounded on the earth, and pull the inflammation out of our body so that we can get to that homeostasis. All right. Now, a lot of times you may have, for a lot of the women, menstrual cycle issues. And for some of us, it starts at a very young age because of the diet. And don't think there's a reason, there's an excuse why they put diet, D-I-E-T, and die is in it, because that's their goal, to make us die. So we want to call it something else. Our food plan, our health plan, whatever you want to call it. Please don't call it anything but the diet. So the best foods now for hypothyroidism would be seaweed. There's so many different kinds of seaweed. There's nori, there's combi, there's what's that other one with the E? I can't think of it. Anyway, there's many. If you look them up, you'll see a plethora of seaweed. Like I said, I made me a soup, and I put all different kinds of seaweed in it, and it's delicious with my lamb. You also have blueberries that are good for hypothyroidism. Maca. Maca is an amazing herb. Well, I don't want to call it a herb. It's a root plant, but it's very good for the thyroid. Brazil nuts. And they say Brazil nuts, but we really don't know because we can't test it. I know there's the health ranger who he tests everything in his lab. I have yet to see him sell Brazil nuts, but if he did, we would know what was in it, because he makes sure his lab goes through and tests everything, make sure there has no glycophosphate, and make sure it's healthy for us. Another thing that's very, very good for our thyroid is coconut oil. If you can do a tablespoon a day, do it. It also helps with dementia, which, as we get older, that's a thing. Also garlic and wild caught fish. Now, there's also sardines you can do as well. All right. Now, I want everyone to understand what happens in this process of this thyroid and how it works. And to do that, we're going to go through the thyroid pathway. I typed that up so you all will have that, and just read through until you understand that, because the thyroid makes two hormones. And you see the pituitary is that red spot at the top. That's the pituitary there. And it's sending the thyroid stimulating hormone, which is the TSH. It's sending it down to the thyroid and saying, hey, I want you to produce this. I want you to make this hormone. And so it goes into the bloodstream and it travels throughout the body. All right. The T3 and the T4. Now, our liver, and this is the part that I've talked to so many people and the doctors about this, they don't tell you about the liver's function in this thyroid issue. And this is what I love here, because our liver converts the inactive T4 into active T3. So most of the thyroid hormone, it produces it's in the T4 form, which is inactive. All right. it produces it and it's inactive. Since the T4 is inactive, right? It's basically just, you know, it doesn't do much of anything. It just floats around in the blood, and they use it for storage. But when the T3, it takes the T3 in the active version that goes into the cells and powers our metabolism. So that T3 is just storing it. If it doesn't go to that liver and starts to make it active and give us the energy, our metabolism is shot. Our metabolism at that point is shot. So the T3 activates our cell's metabolism, which is going to give us our energy. The T3 passes through the cells and it activates your cell's metabolism. It acts as a signal that tells your cells to begin to produce energy. All right, so it's like if you're putting gas in the car. Without gas, you're not going anywhere. But you put that gas in and you press that pedal, you're moving, okay? So this is called ATP. It's a molecule called ATP, which is an acronym for adenosine triphosphate. I hope I'm saying that. Triphosphate, which is the organic molecule responsible for intercellular energy transfer into our cells, which is ATP. ATP, which gives us our energy. So with that, once we get that ATP going, then we've got the energy and we can do what we need to do. But without that, we have the issue. So look at that picture there. That thyroid and that liver have to be able to communicate. If that liver is fatty liver, if it has some kind of cirrhosis of the liver or anything else going on in that liver, your thyroid is not going to work as it should. And if that thyroid is not working as a woman, you've got several issues going on. And this is why I say AI, that autoimmune, that is the devil's playground. All these autoimmune diseases are his playground. He's making he's made these things here, put these things here to attack us because he knows how our body is made. He studied it. So it's up to us to take a look at what we're doing, what we're putting in it, because it's our temple. It is our temple, and the choice is ours. The Most High gives us a choice. So it's up to us what we do, because when the skin cells slow down, okay, because of that thyroid not working properly, and the skin cells slow down, your hair tends to thin and fall out. All right? I'm just saying. That's the first thing. When the cells in your muscles slow down, you tend to gain weight uncontrollably. And even if you eat well and you exercise, you constantly feeling tired and exhausted as if you haven't slept. You drag out of the bed in the morning and you drag through the day. And at night, you just lay in the bed exhausted. All because the cells in your muscles are slowing down. And even to the point, there's something called sarcopenia. And what that is when you lose all the muscle. And if you look at people who are like that, usually the eyes are bulging and the muscle is gone. It's just skin on bone. And the reason, it's a quick, easy fix, but it has a lot to do with the gut and the digestive process, which again, all of these interrelate, as you'll see. And this is why it's so important that we fix this first. But understanding all of this is going to help us all in the long run. All right. So then after that, so we have the skin cells slowing down, we have the cells in the muscle slowing down, we have the nerve cells that slow down, where you get the brain fog. Everybody, we can relate to that brain fog, right? We have brain fog and memory problems. You struggle to read and stay focused or concentrate. Then we have the female reproductive cells slowing down. That's the fourth one, right? And when that happens, you experience irregular cycles. You spotting here, you spotting there, you've got bloating, you throwing up, and then you've got infertility issues. You can't get pregnant, or you have a miscarriage, and you having hot flashes. All of this is when the female reproductive cells slow down. Then we have the stomach and the digestive cells slowing down. What the heck is going on? What the cell is going on? Everything is slowing down. Oh my gosh. Well, when the stomach and the digestive cells slow down, you get bloating and digestive issues. SIBO, anyone? Celiac, anyone? Diverticulitis, anyone? Big fat belly, anyone? All of it. This all happens when our cells slow down because of our thyroid. So if any of this sounds familiar, if any of it sounds familiar, if you know it, you've been through it, you know somebody who's gone through it, you've seen people who've gone through it, this is all what they call stage 1 of thyroid starvation. We are being undernourished. And it's not by no coincidence here, because they want us to diet. They want us to diet. Do you see the chaos going on here in our bodies? It's pure chaos. It's our cells, our nerves, our female reproductive, our stomach, our digestion, our skin. All of it is chaos, chaos, chaos. What is the enemy, the king of? Chaos. So we have got to fix this. And this is not the end of life. It can easily be fixed. There are some minerals that we want to take a look at, because minerals are the key to all of this. They are the key to all of this. And we're going to take a look at these minerals, because for that thyroid to work, again, we're going to now go into this iodine, because without iodine, it's not going to function the way it needs to. So let's talk about iodine. Let's learn a little bit now about iodine. So I gave you the recap, and let's now dive into the iodine side of things. The thyroid, plays a big part, a big part in our body. Minerals play a big part in our body. We were made from the dust of the earth. It makes sense that we have the proper minerals in our diet. We don't get that eaten from the grocery store. We get it maybe eaten from the farm, maybe eaten from the garden, but how many of us eat from the garden regularly? How many of us, right? So if we don't get to that point, we're not gonna get the healing we need. It just won't happen for us. It just won't happen for us. So we've got to take care of this. When I tell you, remember Get Smart, I may be dating myself with 99 and max. Isn't it funny that 99 upside down, what's that? 66. And the name of the police department was Chaos. No coincidences, none. So it's important we take care of this. So this iodine now, it's an electron-rich mineral that supports and synthesizes the thyroid hormone. 74% of adults do not take in enough, and yet without an adequate amount in your system, it's impossible to achieve total body health. Thyroid, anyone? Iodine, anyone? Come on. Iodine can be found in ocean plants like seaweed as well as fish, but unfortunately we can't trust the fish now. Unless you live in an area where you can get wild caught, a lot of it is farm raised, and that farm raised fish is toxic. I know many of you all may go out to eat, and what do? Oh, I want some salmon, and it's a pale, pale pink. It's farm raised. Don't even waste your time asking them if it's wild caught. That paleness alone tells you. I don't care what they glaze it over with. Don't do it. Let's stop the madness. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Iodine is essential for making the thyroid hormone. This thyroid regulates metabolism, energy consumption, as well as healthy skin and hair. We already mentioned that, right? Not getting enough iodine in your diet could lead to hypothyroidism, which is underactive thyroid, which causes substantial weight gain. Recommended dietary allowance for iodine intake is 150 micrograms for adults and 225 for pregnant women. Any pregnant woman, I know they say take your maternal vitamins, but for the sake of your baby's brain and health, please make sure you take iodine. Over 100 countries, including the United States, have iodine fortification programs for table salt. We don't want that table salt. Please, if you can, get your Celtic salt, your Celtic sea salt, that's CELTIC, or the Himalayan sea salt. Of course, you can use the dulse, kelp, and nori, which is a seaweed, in your diet, in your cooking. We showed those different containers that you can get to season your food with. Another thing that I want to interject here that they don't mention, but I remember the heart runs on magnesium. Even though we focus in here on the thyroid, and this is all traveling in the body, remember, when we are born, we have a high level of magnesium. As we get older, it depletes. It's up to us to keep putting it in our body. If you don't, you're going to be depleted. There are several things that depleted. The main thing right now is that all that AI we have around us, it's depleting it. And if we're not putting it back in, you'll start having heart issues. So please get your magnesium in. A good way to get your magnesium is mustard. It's high in magnesium. And I season my meats with my mustard and my dulse and kelp and all that because I want to make sure I'm getting what I need. Another thing you can also do, cacao, which is cocoa in its rawest form, that is high in magnesium, one of the best source. So please, if you can, if you're in an island where you get the pods, just eat the pods. If you can get it in season, eat it. Get your levels up because we quickly get depleted. And sometimes, you could be sitting around your computer all day. And if you have a smart TV, it's even worse. It's sucking you dry. It's like what we call in the islands the sukunye. And we want to get past that. So that thyroid, please, it's responsible for so much. But to support it, we can use ashwagandha. You've heard of bacopa or brahmi, BRAHMI, or black walnut, ginger, of course, iodine, and nettle. Nettle is good. All of those I just mentioned are good for the hair, the skin, the nails. It all works together. It all works together. Okay? So now, there are three minerals I want to go into now. My gosh, look, I only have 15 minutes left. So we have some minerals we want to go into that we need to support. And I don't want you to go out and go buy a bunch of stuff. You don't need to. You need to go look in that cabinet, see what you have in your wellness cabinet that you can pull out and start using, incorporate. Now, if you have nettle, you can make tea. Ashwagandha, you can make a tea or a smoothie. If you don't like smoothies, make a tea. All right? Uh, or put it in your soups. You can put that stuff right in your soup and you wouldn't even taste it. And if you have a sauce or gravy you made of like a sauce, throw it in your sauce. It's not going to harm you. You've got to take care of this body because we only have one body. And, they say the cats get 9 lives, but unfortunately we don't. So it's important that we take care of it. All right. So now let's talk a little bit more about this iodine, the rest of this 15 minutes that I have here. Shalom, Sister Ebony. Oh, you all, we had tornado watch this morning, and I wake up about 5 o'clock. I wake up at 5. I have a call from Ebony and her husband, Chris, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? I'm freaking out. And then I even had one from her sister-in-law, and I'm like, oh my gosh, something's up now. And it was thundering and lightning, and it was just, the windows were shaking and everything. And I was like, the shelter. He's my shelter in the time of a storm. And I went back to sleep. Then I picked up my phone and I realized we had a tornado and the sirens were going off. They were hearing it. I wasn't. But I did have a great sleep because when the storms come, it's the best time to get some good sleep. So I thank you, sis, for thinking of me and checking on me. Much love. Much, much love. All right, so now let's get going on this iodine because there's so much to know. And I know a lot of you may know about it already. And others are talking about it. It's funny. It seems that we were talking about this years ago, but now it's a hot topic. So let's keep that hot topic going. All right. So iodine is found in not one, but every single cell in your trillion of cells in your body. Did you hear that? Trillions of cells in your body, iodine is found in it. Your hormones need iodine to perform their jobs as chemical messengers in the body. Moms, you have young children, daughters, they need their iodine, especially as they come in through puberty. If they starting early, get them on the iodine. Otherwise, they'll have issues with their cycle. Your immune system needs iodine to function. And our immune system is what's going to keep us healthy. The iodine, especially what I'm showing here, it's going to show you how good you uptake it. And if you notice, this iodine is dark. It's dark. Okay. I would rather you get the dark one because you can see how your body's uptaking it. Remember, the skin is our largest organ. Everything you put in here, if you were to taste it, your skin has already tasted it before you put it in. So when you put your lotions on, make sure it's edible by your mouth, and because your skin is taking it all in. That's why we say we want chemical-free deodorants and sprays and product for our hair. It goes into our scalp. It goes into our skin. Love the skin you're in, but be conscious of what you put in that skin. All right, it's necessary for healthy breast tissue. Anyone with big breasts, you need iodine like crazy. You've got the fibrocystic breasts. we've got to have that iodine, because a lot of times that is a precursor. If you don't address that, you can have issues further on down with the big C. Insufficient iodine levels lead to miscarriages, and it's necessary for healthy breast tissue. It's crucial for brain development in babies. It's essential to life. Number one, if it's the number one thing in your medicine, your wellness cabinet, it needs to be this, and it needs to be taken daily. And another reason too, with the 5G, they're already working in 6G and 7G. The plan is to deplete your oxygen. This oxygenates your body. This oxygenates your cells so you can breathe. If you're not getting this and you're short of breath, you're running upstairs and you're huffing and puffing, you're not blowing no house down, honey. It's going to knock you down because you don't have enough oxygen. So get your iodine. All right, lack of thyroid disease and goiters, breast, prostate, ovarian, thyroid, pancreatic, and other cancers, lack of ovulation and infertility, menstrual disturbances and miscarriages, we just mentioned, obesity. Did you know obesity? I was like, what? Iodine? And I think back when I was taking it regular, I didn't have an issue with weight gain. There might be something to it. All right, then mental retardation, allergies, and asthma. That was a shocker too, because everybody is saying, I always say minerals. The first thing when someone says all these issues, I'm like, minerals. Yes, iodine is a mineral, but it's just moved up. It's the top one with some of the other ones that we need for our daily, what is it? Your daily allowance. That's something we need for our daily allowance. Parkinson's disease and other brain disorders. Get your iodine. Iodine deficiency is the leading cause of preventable mental retardation in the world. In the world. It stops brain fog and improves focus, improves the dry, brittle hair and cracked skin. It increases the IQ in children, especially if given during pregnancy. 9 months, mommy can take it and give that baby the brains they need. It possibly prevents autism. And I get it why they use possibly, but we know the other side of autism, what that's about. Okay, it improves the blood sugar control in people with diabetes. Get your iodine. It reduces the risk of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, which is the brain not functioning because the thyroid is low. And you see the cycle, the chaos, right? It's like the washing machine spinning and spinning and spinning. That's what's going on. And it's artificial interference. So what is iodine? It's a chemical element called halogens, which is, it includes bromine, fluoride, chlorine, and their derivatives are fluoride and chloride. And that isn't good for us, only in the right form. So that our society today, our standard American diet, which is truly sad, they're going to do everything to flip-flop. What they know is good for us, they're going to tell us is bad for us. You've heard that for years, right? Now, food sources of iodine: yogurt. We talked about gut health, right? Super Gut book. And your yogurt, get it in. Cranberries, strawberries, eggs, turkey, cheese, seaweed and sea vegetables, saltwater fish, prunes, cranberries, sea salt. There is a test you can do to see if you're iodine deficient that I can share with you all. But understand, we are dirt poor. Our soil is not good. It's lacking a lot of minerals. I know many of you, Humble Homestead, if you know about them, I love getting my vegetables from them because their soil is gold. Michaela, look, he put his whole body into that. That soil is like, it's like gold, and it's just rich. It's the everything he has it in the right moderation. I don't know how he does it, but if you can get a local farmer or a vegetable stand or wherever you get your vegetables, you get go see them. If they give you a tour of their land and see how they do things, do it, because that's affecting how your body, your metabolism is being used for your benefit. Now, eggs, we've got to get good eggs here. Um, Avoid all products made with brominated flours. You know, they have bromide in the flours now. I don't even eat regular bread, only sourdough bread, because of all the stuff they have in it. That is something you need to do the study on and decide if that's something for you. Do not use fluoridated toothpaste. Avoid soy and gluten as much as possible. Avoid the sodas, the soft drinks. Look for chemical-free personal care products. And ventilate your home and workspace well. Get some plants in every room. Your air that you breathe is being sucked from you with the chemtrails and all the AI. So you make sure you are doing what you need to protect your thyroid. This is your control center for your hormones. Hormones are everything for us women. And without them, it's very tough to be a woman in this day and age. So please, 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 I implore you, and guys, don't think that you can't get thyroid cancer. Don't think that cancer doesn't affect you. It can hit you just like it hits the women. And I implore you women to stop doing the mammograms, do the thermography if you can, do your self-testing, because once they do that, and take a look at how they do it, they have this machine that takes, it's like two concrete cinder blocks and your breast is in between it, bam. If you had anything that was a cyst, it is now popped. And guess what? That ooze, that pus, you know, my producer told me that yogurt reminded him of pus. But oh my gosh, that just came to me. Side note, oops. Anyway, that pus starts spreading in your bloodstream, and therefore there is the spread of that C word. So make sure you look at thermography. They do a whole different way, and it's actually, they can prevent it real early with thermography versus the mammogram. So please take a look at that. All right. And for those of you that get migraines, it's minerals, it's minerals, it's minerals. Many migraine headaches are triggered by hormonal fluctuations. Where is your hormonal fluctuation center? Your thyroid. While most often there are sex hormone swings, particularly in women, any hormone, including thyroid hormone, can play a role in causing migraines. Of course, we already know how low iodine intake causes hypothyroidism or low thyroid function, right? We know that. It's not at all a leap of logic to look at an insufficient iodine as a trigger for migraines. Preliminary evidence indicates that there may be a connection between thyroid abnormalities and migraine headaches. But more research is needed to better understand this connection. I mean, honestly, the Most High knew what he was doing when he made us. He made us beautifully, wonderfully made. And the enemy is trying to take what he made and break that up and take it into a chaotic mess that we don't even understand. What we are trying to do here is let you understand your body a little bit more, see how it works, and take a look at what you can do naturally. Yes, there are tests you can take, but understand what's going on first. Don't go into that office and sit with that white coat and not know what your body is about. You can do that for yourself. Take the picture. Remember, we have this amazing, amazing oil here. I can't praise this enough. I can't praise this enough. We have to, everybody needs this hexane-free castor oil. If you have a cyst on your breast, a lump anywhere, put the iodine on and put that castor oil on after. And you can put a gauze pad over it or whatnot, or put a little heat on it. The castor oil organically goes deep. The rinsolytic acid goes deep, and it will break up that cyst. It will feel tough for a few days, a week or two, and at a consistent use every day, it will start to break apart. It will feel like if you had a thing of marbles and you were just moving them around, like little jelly pellets, and then it will just disappear. So please understand, thyroid, cysts, anything lumpy in the body going on, use your castor oil. The Most High gave it to us. It came from the earth for us. He gave us that iodine. Everything we're talking about here is natural. We want to use it. And with that, my time is up. I'm late. Sorry. I know you all need your sleep. But I pray that you all can take this knowledge, use it for your own benefit. And until next time, I hope to see you next week. Same time, same channel. Please like, share, subscribe. Invite a family member, somebody you know that can use this information, and go back. We've labeled each show as episode 1, 2, because each one builds upon the other so that you can get the flow of where we're going in understanding how our body operates. And with that, sorry, shalom, much love, and peace, blessings. I bid you heavenly dreams. Good night. And thank you for coming and seeing me tonight.
Rise and shine to the morning light. Sister MJ brings the truth so bright. Health and nature in every sound. Feel the rhythm, let's get unbound. From our higher we get our power. Every herb, every healing flower. Sister MJ shows the way. Naturally living every day, naturally